the keys are to the glory days at the stick. From who's got it better than us to brick by brick. It's always the 49ers way. From offseason to game day. Yeah, we talk back. It's the 49ers Cutback.
Hey guys, so I had to get changed. I didn't want to look like I did. When I got in here. The long day recording, all that fun stuff. How you doing, TCC? Hopefully good. Hopefully everything is just fine. Yeah? No, it's not. Things are going wrong, you say? Things aren't things aren't going smoothly in San Francisco 49er land. I'm stunned. That girl, I'm absolutely stunned. Not only am I absolutely stunned, I've been waiting for, get things up and running and everything going on. And I mean, ironically enough, right? Patience is the name of the stream, right? A lesson in patience, and then everything goes completely wrong for me going to set up said stream. And so patience for me on my end as well. But hopefully you're all doing good. Hopefully everything's happening, y'all. Hopefully everything's going smoothly. I know things are not going smoothly on this end, but that's beside the point, because we're here now, and that's all that matters, is that we're here now, and we get to have a fun conversation about what the frick is going on this offseason, y'all. Holy crap. Holy crap. Right? This has been absolutely nuts. Oh, it's just rough. I saw the TCC was talking a little bit with Ant in the pre-show lobby and talking in the chat pre-show about what's been going on. And Ant said he had brought up and mentioned they better get at least a day 2 pick for Jimmy and at least a first and more for Deebo if he's actually moved. And you're not wrong there. And Bomber T saying, Alex, please tell me the Niners are not dumb enough to trade Deebo for the 10th pick. No, they're not dumb enough to trade Deebo for the 10th pick. They aren't dumb enough. But this is why I wanted to have this chat specifically tonight. I see Jan saying, sipping on my homemade American Amber Ale. That sounds delightful. Delightful. And Paul, I appreciate that, man. It's not going bad with you, and we'll have options. That's right. We don't have this drama, especially when we were so close. We don't need this drama, excuse me, especially when we're this close to winning another Super Bowl, said Bobo. Agreed. I mean, I don't want this drama. I don't think anyone wants this drama. Callie Young with the hashtag TCC. But Bomber, you're not wrong, man. The Niners are not just going to move Deebo for a 10th. That's not a King's ransom. A King's ransom isn't a 10th. But this is why tonight's important. This is why a cutback chat surrounding this idea and this notion of patience is important in talking about this offseason. Deebo was just saying no to the bottle service, says Jay Ellie. Look, we're going to get to that. We're going to get there, Jay. We're going to get there. Let's start with what we know, right? Let's start with what we know about this whole situation with Deebo Samuel. What we know is nothing. We know nothing. As fans, we know nothing. Deebo hasn't really given anything more than cryptic tweets and cryptic texts and cryptic posts and things of that nature. The Niners have not given anything other than Deebo has been budgeted for. Bosa has been budgeted for. Deebo is a staple and a centerpiece of the franchise. We know nothing. We know nothing about what their true intentions are. We know nothing of anything else other than what we believe or perceive to be happening in San Francisco. Right? So everyone that's coming out and claiming they know or what is just not factually accurate. Anyone that has a feeling about it and whatever reasoning, logic, facts they want to use to back said reasoning, you tip your hat because it's plausible, right? At this point, everything is plausible. Everything is possible. To know one way or the other where things are leaning is just kind of hard. It's kind of hard, right? It's kind of hard to know with certainty one way or another what's happening and where they're going with this thing. The Niners are going to have a press conference tomorrow, so a lot more information is hopefully going to come out tomorrow. But if I'm a betting man, nothing's coming out tomorrow, TCC. You're not going to find out anything. You're not going to find out a gosh darn thing. None of us will. None of us will. There are people who are coming out and saying that Deebo is going to get traded and that they imagine tomorrow is going to be the day where something gets announced or something soon is going to get announced. And it's going to have to be soon, right? Between now and Thursday, it's going to have to happen. And it's going to have to happen before you get about 10 picks deep into the draft for Deebo to get moved. Hugo, all we know is that Deebo wants to get paid in a major way. Yes, just like anyone who's coming off of a career year, right? Any player that has just put together the year that Deebo Samuel just put together, Hugo's not wrong. They all have the same goal in mind. Get the bag, baby. Like, that's what they want. They want that bag, and they should want that bag. I'm seeing Juanito saying Deebo doesn't like Trey. I'm seeing Bubba saying Deebo doesn't want to train in California, but he'll go to the club in California. He'll also train in California. None of these things, like nothing makes sense, right? If you go based off what's been reported, what you've seen, the videos that have come out, the statements being made, if you go by all of those things, nothing makes sense. Everything is topsy-turvy. Everything is bass-ackwards, right? Bass-ackwards. Everything is bass-ackwards. Literally. None of it makes sense. And therein lies a problem. And therein lies also the solution to said problem. Because nothing makes sense and nothing is adding up, nothing points, nothing correlates, nothing's connecting, nothing's flowing, nothing is logically following and progressing in any sort of way that could be considered consistent, that tells you everything that you need to know. That the information is getting out is not actually information. It's just stuff. It's stuff to talk about. It's stuff to chew on. It's stuff for people to react to. It's stuff for people to click on. It's just stuff. Stuff only has meaning to the people involved with said thing, right? Deebo Samuel means something to 49ers fans because there is uncertainty surrounding Deebo's future in San Francisco long term, not short term, long term. That means stuff. And that's stuff that can be talked about. Right? Think about this last year. Let's go back in time, folks. TCC, let's go back in time 1 year. My sauces told me though, said Juanito. Good. I'm glad for your sauce. Who are these sauces, my guy? Who are these sauces? I need to know. I want to know who these sauces are. Ronnie Montoya, front office needs to protect Deebo and stick up for him with all the nonsense death hits from fans who aren't Niners fans. Yeah, I mean, Ronnie, yeah, okay. Panther has 13. What other teams are interested? I don't know. JLE. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm gonna get to chats, but we'll know by Thursday. Hey, you're not wrong about that, JLE. We'll know by Thursday. Fast forward, or excuse me, not fast forward. Go back in time. 1 year. This time last year. NFL draft. What had happened? The Niners had made a trade. Right? They had dealt future picks and all of this stuff to move up to pick 3, to spot 3, to select somebody. Ideally a quarterback. Right? Ideally a quarterback is what we all thought. But think about it. As time wore on, as time progressed, as the season ticked by and ticked forward, as we got closer to the draft, narrative started emerging. Things began to be discussed because the quarterback narrative had run dry by this point. The conversations surrounding Mac Jones, McCorkle, Justin Fields, or Trey Lance, they dried up. People were sick of it. And done. I don't want to talk about this anymore. Niners taking a quarterback. So what other narrative started emerging, right? Oh, that the Niners were going to take Kyle Pitts. Well, the Niners they're going to do this. The Niners, they're going to do that. Other narratives started emerging because got to have something to talk about. And JLE with the spicy sauce is glorious. It's absolutely glorious, JLE with the spicy sauce. It is the spicy sauce. That's what's happening right now. The spice. That's not the spice melange. It's not the spice melange, but it is spicy. I'll tell you what, extra spicy. So narratives emerged, right? Things discussed became, started divulging away from just typical quarterback conversations in terms of other things, what the Niners were going to do. What are the Niners going to do? There's this, the Niners could also do this. I mean, they could be looking for a tight end. Maybe they're going to replace George Kittle. I mean, everything under the sun was being discussed because the narrative got dried up. Distracting, right? Distractions. It's downtime. It's dead time. For most channels, for most content creators, for most reporters, right now, this is dead week for them. This is what they would be considered to be dead week. There's nothing else to talk about. There's nothing else to do. Why? Because you've done 50 bajillion mock drafts, right? You've done your draft breakdowns. You've had your reports. You've talked to your guys. The only thing left to talk about coming into this week is the presser leading up to the draft and then the draft itself, right? You got literally between Friday and next Friday, this past Friday to this upcoming Friday, it's dead week for most people. It's dead week. So we gotta have something to talk about because you've already killed like all the narratives that you could possibly talk about. You've beaten people to death with them, right? You've beaten them over the head. Look what happened in the last Thursday night Q&A. Look what happened. It divulged into chaos, Cutback. You guys were done talking about Deebo. You just started listing off wrestlers because you're done. You're done. You're sick of it, right? You're sick of it. And that's where the title of tonight's stream becomes really important because patience. It's something that is missed. It's something that people aren't very good at practice anymore, right? Practicing patience, being patient about things, not wanting to immediately knee-jerk react to things as it's presented, as information is presented to you, it's become very hard to do in an age and an era where information is more readily available than ever before, right? Like, you get information, you get stuff thrown in your face constantly, whether it's in context, whether it's out of context, it is constantly thrown into your face, nonstop. If you're on Twitter, information flying at you consistently. Some of it true, some of it not true, right? Google constantly suggesting information that they think you may want. Facebook, information. Instagram, information instantly. It is information overload. Juanito, you're not wrong. That is the best way to put it. Information overload. We have everything at the tip of our fingers. Everything that we could possibly want. So, what happens? When you have that much information, that means things can change rapidly in a very quick amount of time. It also means that information can be disseminated to people without being verified. Because in today's day and age, in today's world, right now at this moment in time, people don't care about getting information right. They care about getting information out first. Right? It's the old Ricky Bobby saying, if you ain't first, you're last. Despite the fact that a lot of people are just wrong, flat out wrong about what they post. It's about getting it out first, because if you get it out first, people believe there's credibility in that. Credibility comes in first, and that's where patience becomes the most important thing that you can have. As a front office, as a coach, and as a fan base. Being patient and not knee-jerk reacting to every bit of information that's going to come your way. And trust me, TCC, trust me, between now and Friday, there is going to be tons of information that gets thrown your way. Let's not forget where this started, right? Let's not forget where this started. Jimmy G was going to get traded. Before the deadline, going to get traded. Despite the fact that the Niners and Jimmy G's camp knew that he was going through rehab on his shoulder. That information did not get made public. Now, a lot of people, myself included, I know Ant included, knew that Jimmy Garoppolo would be going through rehab on his shoulder and his thumb. Why? Because that's usually what you do when you have an injury. The hope is you don't have to have surgery. And all signs are pointing to potentially no surgery. Especially since we didn't know the extent of the shoulder injury. The big hurdle and the big obstacle was the thumb, right? The thumb was the biggest hurdle and obstacle for Jimmy Garoppolo. No information comes out about that, about the thumb needing or requiring surgery. There was rumors and speculation at the end of the season from Jimmy's team and Niners, stories differing, but nothing confirmed. Get to the offseason, nothing confirmed. No reports, no setbacks, nothing negative. And then we find out about the shoulder surgery. And then we find out, well, that's going to affect, well, we don't find out. We piece 2 and 2 together, right? 1 + 1 = 2. And Jimmy Garoppolo is probably not getting traded right now. May not be traded at all. Okay, well, that's going to hurt, right? Because that takes money that we all thought was going to be available, and it kind of makes it tough. Kind of makes it tough to have money available if you get $25 million sitting on a quarterback who may not start, who is going to be going into a quarterback competition this year. All right, so that's obviously going to set back the Niners, right, in the offseason. That's going to set things back. It's not going to make things easy. It's going to make things a lot more difficult. In fact, it's probably going to set back plans on contract negotiations. Now, luckily for the San Francisco 49ers and for 49ers fans, if you know anything about the 49ers, right, they typically don't get contract extensions done for big players till closer to training camp. So while typically maybe at this point you would be further along in talks and the progress and the process, maybe you can't be right now. Maybe you can't be, because maybe the Niners are scrambling, trying to figure it out. And say, hey, Deebo, listen, man, we're going to get you done, but we got to wait a little bit. We got to see how this Jimmy thing is going to play out. We got to see if there's what interest is there before we do anything. So that pushes that back, and then that also potentially, maybe, possibly, who knows? But it could have impacted Deebo. But we go from the Jimmy Garoppolo saga to the Deebo saga. And now we have Deebo Samuel, and all these reports coming out, right? Deebo Samuel wants to be the highest non-quarterback. He wants to be the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL. That's the first report that we hear, TCC. That's the first thing that we hear. Highest paid non-quarterback in the league. Within a matter of weeks, probably days in all honesty, highest paid non-quarterback to $25 million. Within a few days, from $25 million to the far apart on contract negotiations. To the Niners offered him 4 years, $100 million, which would be $25 million a year. To the Niners never offered a contract. To Deebo doesn't like his role, even though he's selling wide back merch on his website. You can literally go to his Twitter right now. You can go to his represent.com profile, and he's got wide back merch sitting on his Represent website. Let me ask you something, TCC. Let me ask you something. If someone was going to scrub social media of all things related to San Francisco, all things related to how the Niners utilized him, do you think he'd still have wide back merch up on his site? In 49ers color and gear? You think that truly? If he was unhappy with his role and unhappy how the Niners used him, you think he'd be selling that merchandise in 49ers red and gold? But I digress, because that's hearsay, right? That would be just hearsay. That's just me speculating. It's speculation. A lawyer would be objecting, Your Honor, speculation, hearsay. Fine. Well, we go from not happy with his role to the 49ers never offered him any money. To the Niners would sign him today, but Deebo halted contract talks. Back to the Niners never offered anything. Back to the Niners did offer him a contract at $19 million a year. Back to, no, the Niners didn't offer anything. There's been no offer on the table. That's why he's upset. You seeing a trend here, TCC? Faithful, Cutback Crew? Do you see a trend yet? Nothing, it makes sense. Every piece of information that comes out gets debunked within less than 24 hours. All of it. Deebo doesn't want to train in California. Within 24 hours, 24 hours, TCC, Deebo is in LA training. In LA training. Thank you, David. We appreciate it. Less LFG indeed. Like, what? What are we doing here? Right? What is being said? None of it makes sense because none of it's factual. All of it is nonsense. It's all nonsense. Everything that's being discussed is nonsense. At some point in time, the truth will come out about all of this. All of it will. Patience. Patience is the key in all of this. You cannot hang your hat on any piece of information that is coming out right now from Deebo, from the Niners, from everybody. It's a game. There's a dance being had, and all of us right now, all of us are sitting in a position currently where we just have to watch this. It is story time with Alex J. You're not wrong. 100% not wrong. Look, I get it. It's really, really easy to get caught up in all of this. It is. Cutback Crew, Faithful, everybody. It's easy. It's easy to get caught up. It's easy to be focused on what's happening, the things you've heard, right? What's been said, and hang on every word, hang on every action, hang on everything that has occurred and be like, man, this just doesn't make any sense. Man, Deebo must really not want to be here. Man, his agent is really effing this up. Man, Kyle Shanahan and the front office have screwed this so bad. This is all Jimmy Garoppolo's fault. Right? There are so many ways that you can hang your hat on this, and you shouldn't hang out on any of it. You shouldn't hang your hat on any of it, because none of this information. Alex, say it, spit it out of your mouth. All of this information is bullpucky. It's crap. It's crap. It's crap. It can't be believed, right? What happened the other night? We had Deebo in LA. We had a Deebo video, Deebo training in a gym in LA. Which, by the way, seeing Deebo Samuel doing bridged flat dumbbell bench press, an eccentric contraction, bridged dumbbell bench press. Watching Deebo Samuel doing that, knowing I had just done those at the gym earlier that day, made me feel so good about myself. Hey, Deebo, I do that same exact shiz right there. All right, that's beside the point. That was just me plugging my own gym routine. Watching that come out and then watching the video of him out at the club, right? Big lit sign. Huge lit sign that says Deebo is staying with the 49ers. Deebo staying with the 49ers. Big lit sign. Let me ask y'all something. Is it too coincidental that the sign is there? Is it too coincidental that someone was filming it and panned over to Deebo and Deebo is looking at the camera? And is it too coincidental? Does it feel staged to you? Does it feel like maybe this was intentionally put out there just for funsies? Because it doesn't feel real to me. It feels like just a bunch of crap that's happening. It's more things to talk about. After seeing that, Alex now wants $25 million to host the Cutback. Oh man, KNDR, if there were any way for me to be making $25 million host of the Cutback, my guy, I would be quitting my job tomorrow. Mark Graves, where's your workout video? I mean, listen, if you guys really want a workout video, then all you have to do is ask. All you have to do is ask. I can put one out. I don't know what it's going to do for me in terms of clout or anything like that, but I can put one out if you want. Now, I take neoscience with me to the bar every time I go. Now, Alex, I will not take an offer from the TCC. That's funny. Matt saying income tax specific California, I think, is the highest with the top 5 bracket. Maybe. But, again, you see that video, and I see a lot of people going, he don't want any part. He doesn't want to stay in San Francisco. Do you really believe that that's what that was? Do you really believe that that's what that video was? Because it could have been a lot of different things, right? It could have been Deebo saying, hey, not the time. Don't be filming me out here in public. That. It could have been like, nah, I ain't coming back to San Francisco. It could have been like, nah, man, stop playing around. It could have been nah, a lot of things, right? Could have also been a sarcastic nah, I'm not coming back. Nah, I ain't gonna. Context matters. You don't have context. You have a 5-second clip taken out of context. You have a 5-second clip that just so happens to catch Deebo Samuel and a sign promoting him staying in San Francisco in the same place at the same time. Just so happens. TCC, out of context, right? Clip. What if on Monday they announced that Deebo Samuel has signed a long-term contract with San Francisco? Does the context of that clip change meaning then at this point? It would, right? Be a troll. It would be he was being sarcastic, wasn't being serious. If he gets traded on Monday, the context changes, right? He knew he knew he was getting dealt. He knew he was going somewhere else. Like, context matters, but context comes with information, and information comes through patience. You have to wait. Don't react. Wait. Let information come to you. We have zero info. We don't know anything. We know nothing. You're saying, nah, not until they pay me $30 million a year. Renee, 100%. It could have been just that. Lynch and Shanahan en route to Vegas. Rumor is they bought a pound of Vaseline. Someone is getting screwed backwards on Thursday, said Janny G. Jesus, Danny. He didn't even look at the sign in the club. He might not have. Ronnie, he may have never saw the sign. You're not wrong there either. I'd be pissed at Deebo for pulling all of this. Lynch will thank Deebo for his services tomorrow during the presser. It could be a re-signing party. Deebo trying to tell them not to film it. There are so many possibilities for what that clip could have been. So many. And everybody wants to be the one to react first. Everyone wants to make the pitch first, right? He's getting dealt. It's going to be for pick 10. The Jets offered up pick 10. Take it. I would take it. Take it. You're not going to get anything better right now. Take it. Trade for Deebo. Trade him right now. Take pick 10 in a second. Take a player, pick 10 and a third. Do it. Do it. Jan, Alex getting traded for Lowell, and now Alex has to talk to Green. Who? My memory is getting better. My memory is getting better. It's getting better. I know Lowell. Grant, though, it's still fuzzy. Still fuzzy. It's getting better. I keep seeing orange cone. Am I on to something there, TCC? When you say Grant, are you referring to the cone man? He's like, it's not spelled the same, but it's the same. Okay. Rumor is Jimmy G and Deebo are an item. Wow. Well, that's just not true. That's just inaccurate. If he's doing this just to get paid more, then at least he got a lot of content out of it. Well, I mean, there's that too. Until Deebo makes a public speak, I'm not buying it. Look, Deebo is sacrificing for Jimmy, so all attention is on him. Cone heads, Cone. There you go. We will see. Look, here's the thing. The Deebo video was pretty damning for Niners fans who want to keep him. I can't lie. It looked clear until we actually know what the real issues are that led to his trade demand. It's hard to say. David, we don't know how serious the trade demands are, right? Raheem Mostert demanded a trade. Do y'all remember this? Remember a few years ago when Raheem Mostert demanded a trade? In the 2020 offseason? He demanded a trade. He didn't want a trade. He wanted to get paid. Negotiations weren't going the way he wanted. So he said, okay, well, if it's not going to go the way, if we're not going to be able to have this conversation, you guys aren't serious about having this conversation, then just trade me. Might as well just trade you because someone else will pay me. I know that. Deebo is the same thing, right? I want to get paid. Niners listen, we want to pay you too, but 25 million, I don't know. 19 sounds good. 19 sounds like a solid number. Mostert didn't go anywhere. Robbie Gould asked for a trade. He didn't go anywhere. This wouldn't be the first time a 49ers player has asked for a trade and not ended up anywhere. It's just not how it works. You can ask for a trade all you want. Deebo's on his rookie contract. I saw Ant talking about this in the chat. We talked about this the other night as well. He's on his rookie contract. He has no leverage. The Niners have complete control over everything that Deebo does for the next 2 years. Through this year and through next year, he's a Niner unless the Niners don't want him to be, or they feel someone could give them something for him. He sees Ayuk and Trey working together and realizes he won't be wide receiver one. Juanita, I don't think so. Deebo's working himself. Deebo looks like he's in great shape right now. Deebo is putting in the work just like everybody else is. Right? There was reports that came out too that Deebo wanted to be close to his family. He wanted to be on the East Coast. He wanted to be near family. That's why he doesn't want to be in California. It's not that he doesn't want to be in California, right? It's that he wants to be near family. So let me ask you something. If he wants to be near family, he doesn't want to come work out in California, but he did come out and work out in California. Could it be that he's not going to make unnecessary trips out to California to work out with teammates? That he's only going to do that when necessary, when it's supposed to be the case? Also, what's wrong with wanting to be near and around your family? I don't understand that. Ken Martin, Tom Brady wanted out of Tampa Bay. He retired, seen no way out, and came back. Right? I mean, there's that too. The only thing I want smashed is my burger. That just doesn't make sense. And trade Deebo for Lynn Swan. That's not gonna. I'm not gonna lie, Danny. That's not gonna go well. Look, patience is what's necessary right now. TCC, you gotta be patient. You gotta let this play out. We gotta let information at least come out before we decide one way or the other. Who's right? Who's wrong? Who screwed this up? Is anything screwed up? Is Deebo just playing around? Is there more to this? Did a relationship really go sour? Does he really not want to be a wide back? Is it as simple as his role and his contract? Is it more complex than that? Are there actually issues at play here, or are people just begging for something to talk about? Like, here's the thing, right? All of this is going on right now. All of this is happening. All of it is. All of it. Last year, same sort of situation, right? Who the quarterback is going to be, why it's going to be whoever it was. And then what ends up happening? What ends up happening, TCC? You draft Trey Lance. Trey needs to start. Trey's ready. Get bum Jimmy out, right? He goes through the whole season, doesn't play. And what do people start saying? Well, the Niners always intended for him to sit out a year. And I understand why they did. I may not necessarily agree with why they did, but I understand it. Hi, hey, welcome if it's your first time here on the channel. If you had been here the day Trey Lance got drafted, the next day, the day after that, and every day from the point he got drafted in San Francisco till right now, then you would have known that Trey was sitting the whole year. When we were sitting there at training camp, hearing people talk about he was having a better training camp than Jimmy Garoppolo, we came on and said, those things are not accurate. We're watching. We've been there. It ain't happening. Trey's not having a better camp. He's not even really getting a chance, really, to be the quarterback because he's developing. He needs time. And $5 super chat. At TCC, in your opinion, what will Lynch say tomorrow at the presser? I think 80-20, he comes back. If he's traded as possible, the Jets trade is 10, 35, and 38. Look, I think what you're going to get tomorrow, personally, Jag, is nothing. You're going to get nothing. You're going to get, we've looked at all options. We want to keep, we're doing everything we can to keep Deebo. But we have to look at all of our options, do all of our due diligence. We got to look at, receivers coming out in this draft. We need to make the best decision for us, long term and short term. But the plan right now is to make sure that Deebo is a 49er for a long, long time. That's what you're going to get tomorrow. Brace yourself. That's what you're getting, TCC. You're not getting anything else. You're getting that. Can guarantee you that's all you're going to get. Because if there's one thing the Niners don't do, it's they don't leak. They put out information when they want to put out information. And they're not going to air dirty laundry. They won't do it. And it doesn't look like Deebo's doing it either. Let's see, F49ers Cutback. I'm late, but I'm so glad you're preaching patience. It's hilarious how much Niners don't leak was being preached to calm fans down. Suddenly people buy every report, rumor, and panic from Shatchi. You're right, Shatchi. Matter of fact, we had tons of videos about this. The Niners don't leak. They just don't do it, right? They don't put out information. They keep things close to the vest. They put things out when they're ready to put things out. And yet, for some reason, now that's all changed. All of it's changed? It's all different now? That's pretty crazy how that works, right? Span of one off season, we go from a stable organization that doesn't put information out, that we don't want out, that keeps everything in house, and if information does get leaked out to the public, those people get fired and are not back in San Francisco. We go from that organization and that franchise to the franchise that apparently just can't keep anything under wraps. Everything with Deebo is just spilling out into the ether. It's crazy. What time is the presser tomorrow? I'm not sure, Rennie. I'm not sure. But Alex, what about Deebo liking Jimmy G's post about getting traded together? JL, I know you're being sarcastic, right? But I did see this as well. He liked it. So that means, right? That means with 100% certainty, he 100% loves Jimmy and hates Trey and doesn't want anything to do with Trey. And that's why all this is happening, right? Because it's Trey's team and he's not happy about it. Do we know this? Didn't Deebo also have a picture of him and Trey Lance together saying, keep doubting us? Right? From earlier in the season when they had a big throwback party, I think on Halloween. It was him and Deebo and Trey together, right? Keep sleeping, keep doubting us. Looking like they were buddies, having a good time. Which is it? Which is it? Are they friends? Are they not? Do they hate each other? Do they not hate? Which is it? Which is it? It's just so silly. Some fans just don't want to learn and prefer to let others push their buttons into panic rather than wait, breathe, and see what develops. Shadji, you're right. And that's why tonight's what it is. That's why tonight's all about patience. It's all about taking what you've been presented, right? And look, I'm all for skepticism. I'm all for not believing everything that people tell you, right? I'm all for it. I think there's a time and a place, right, to be skeptical and when not to be. But there's also a time to just, take the facts as they present itself and then draw your own conclusions, right? We have no facts. We have no facts. We have all hearsay, secondhand information. I talked to a guy. I talked to Deebo, and Deebo said this. And then nothing from Deebo or his cants corroborating anything. The only thing that we know for sure is the case is that Deebo asked for a trade. We know that. That's the only bit of information that we have. That's it. That's the only piece of information we have. Marvin Rose, reporters making crap up. I mean, wouldn't be the first, and it won't be the last. To be honest, the more I think about it, I say trade him. Get hella draft value. And it's likely he regresses. You can't expect him to match last year. Traffic, maybe, but he was the centerpiece of this offense last year. You have a huge hole to fill if Deebo Samuel's not there. There's definitely a lot to this, but if the Niners do get rid of him, they need to at least get a first rounder, a 10 pick, a second round pick, and a third. No less. Adams went to the Raiders for a lot more, said Danielle. Listen, if the Niners are going to trade Deebo Samuel, they've already kept people. The only report that has any sort of sustenance, is Schefter talking about the Niners wanted a king's ransom for Deebo Samuel. And how do you know that there's sustenance to that report? TCC, anyone in the chat right now, I'm going to give you a minute to tell me. Type it out right now in the comment section. How? How could we possibly know that the Niners probably do in fact want a king's ransom for Deebo Samuel and wouldn't want to move off of him for less? Put it in the comment section right now while I go through a few more of these, because this is the only one that has any sort of sustenance or legs to it. And it's not because they actually know anything. It's because in a shocking development, Adam Schefter does have some common sense. Some common sense. As Alex Mack said, he's coming back, asked Juanito. As of right now, Juanito, we haven't heard yes or no one way or the other. What we do know is that he is back and working out. He is back and working out. If they get pick 10, would it be better to trade back, said Renee? Well, it depends on what else you're getting in pick 10. Right? If it's only pick 10, then maybe. But if you're only getting pick 10 for Deebo Samuel, you're kind of doing this wrong. You're definitely doing it wrong. Paul Sanders, because John Lynch told us he was a cornerstone piece of the franchise. There's one piece of information. We heard that directly out of John Lynch's mouth. We've budgeted for him. He's a cornerstone piece of the franchise. He's going to be a 49er for a long, long time. All right, boom. Deebo's talent to the Niners, said Jay Ellie. He is. He's very talented, was the linchpin of success for the 49ers offense this past season. Right? I mean, there's that. Didn't the Niners say they would look to trade offers for Deebo? They said they would consider all options, which is what you say, because you're negotiating. If you just say Deebo's not being traded, then like you're not doing negotiations right. You do that to try and scare Deebo, because if Deebo does in fact want to be in San Francisco and you say, hey, we're going to consider all trade options, then he goes back to his agents and be like, yo, bro, what are we doing? I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave. What are you doing? Right? You're putting some onus on the individual to go back to his agent and be like, hey, man, let's pump the brakes here a little bit. Right? Let's pump the brakes here a little bit. I don't like where this is going. I don't like where this conversation is headed. And we also know that Kyle Shanahan and Deebo Samuel have a great relationship. So if you think that that's deteriorated in a matter of weeks without any sort of issue or situation, I want to know how. I want to know how you could possibly know that. In Gabbard for Jimmy G, my word, no, never in a million years. But here's the main reason. Here's the main reason why Adam Schefter is not completely full of crap when he talks about talks about this whole situation with Deebo and the Niners wanting a king's ransom. Because the Niners want a king's ransom for Jimmy Garoppolo. Hello? If Jimmy Garoppolo has as much value to the 49ers as they've shown and as they've stated, and as their actions have constantly dictated, then what do you think Deebo's value is? Tommy Huxley jokingly the other night said 4 1s, right? Said 4 first-round picks. I said 3 1s and a 3. Probably not too far off one of those 2 points. If Jimmy G's value is so high in this front office, then what's Deebo? It ain't pick 10. That ain't anywhere close to enough. That won't even sniff the area of that. It's just not going to. It's not going to happen. Jimmy G's value is as high as it is, then what's Deebo's? What's Deebo's? JLE, 3 first rounders. I mean, it would feel like it, right? We want a king's ransom for any player on this team, says Ronnie. Well, I mean, ideally you want that. Like, ideally you want that. But, big but here. Not every player can demand a king's ransom. Some players can't, right? Deebo is definitely one of those players that you can do that. You can do that. You can do that with certain players. Deebo is one of those players. That's the case. So what does a king's ransom look like for Deebo? TCC. I want to hear from you on this. We're going to have a vote. We're going to have a vote on this. I want to see what you guys think. Multiple first and a second. 4 first. 4 first. round picks. Or what I said the other night. 3 first round picks and a third. I want to know. TCC. What do you think a king ransom looks like? And maybe you think it's something else. If you think it's something else, leave it in the comment section down below right now. Maybe you're thinking more of like what Ant said the other night, right? A first round pick, one more pick, and then a couple of really good players, starters. Maybe that's what you're thinking. And if that's the case, I want to know. I want to hear it in the comment section down below. Down below. Let's see. You traded a generational player for one pick. You got bombarded. You definitely did, and you didn't say bombarded. But I'm just cleaning it up for you. You're welcome. You're welcome. Cordero Patterson can do whatever Deebo does, and look how much he has loved or moved. Cordero Patterson has flexibility and diversity, but he does not do things at the same level that Deebo does. In fact, it's nowhere close. Nowhere close. If Deebo's situation is not resolved and is still on the team, it's going to be a problem in the locker room. Sakura, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I don't know if that's the case. I don't know if that's the case. Have a nice night, Marvin. Good to see you, my guy. Glad you're here. Glad that you're here. I'd rather they make Deebo sit, ruin his butt, than trade him for one dang pick. If we can't have him, no one can. Best part is the 49ers don't have to trade him at all. They hold all the cards. You're not wrong, Mark. Our locker room's pretty strong. I think we can. Our locker room is pretty strong. I think we can handle it. Jan, that was from Paul. Jan says also can be much like the Herschel Walker trade, possibly. JLE, the highest possible, but I would take any of those deals. Take any of those. Look, I don't think there's a wrong way to look at this if you're a 49ers fan. I don't think there's a wrong way to look at this at all. But at the end of the night, at the end of the day, right, the 49ers are not just going to move off of this guy for nothing. If they move off of him, it's going to have to be a king's ransom. And whatever that king's ransom look like is going to vary from fan to fan. It's going to it's gonna vary from person to person, but the front office has an idea in mind, and we all know what that idea roughly looks like. Because if Jimmy G's value is 2 2s, if that's what the Niners value Jimmy G at, is 2 second-round picks in order to move off of him, then Deebo Samuel is going to be probably 2 firsts and a couple of other picks. That would be the starting point, right? 2 firsts and a few more picks. That's what his value is going to be. Palmer T, the Jets first rounder for 10 years. Lou, I saw this one from you, 2022 first and second, and a second in 2023. It better be a lot. 3 first rounders plus a second next year. You're giving me what you're getting one of the best players in the NFL, and he's pretty young, and it's going to be a shocker on Thursday if it happens. If it does happen. Jets first rounder for 10 years. It's going to have to be a God's ransom, said Chan. That's incredible. Ronnie, we want the house. I mean, look, all of those are true. All of those are true. Jag saying I would take pick 10, 35, 38, then move back from 10 and get even more picks. You could easily do that. John Paul, I was on Jets thread today, and they all said we'd be lucky to get their 10 pick, nothing more. I told them they were nuts. They are nuts. It's also why they're picking in the top half of the draft every year. That's why. If they did trade him, who do they have to go try and replace him with? If you even could. You can't traffic. You're going to have to get multiple guys. Like multiple dudes. Multiple dudes they're going to have to replace Deebo's role. You have to get 3 players potentially to do the things that Deebo can do for you. The run after the catch over the middle, the physicality running the ball out of the backfield, and then the vision and the ability to catch and run in the screen game. Because you might not be able to get a guy who can do 2 of those things. I know for sure you can't get a guy to do 1 of those things. Well, that's not true. You can get Kenneth Walker. He's got Deebo-esque style running. Not the same as Deebo, but it's Deebo-esque style. But you're going to have to get 2 to 3 players. 2 or 3 guys is what it's going to take. JLA, how old is Deebo again? I'll look it up to be sure. I thought it was 26. I could be wrong. Let me see. 26. 26. He doesn't turn 27 until January. So there it is. So one thing now confirmed. The video of him in LA was not birthday related. It wasn't birthday related, TCC. You're welcome. The breaking news that you needed in your life. Trade Deebo and Jimmy to the Titans for Henry and Brown. The Titans are not doing that trade. They're just not doing that trade. Platform 246. What's happening, Faithful? We're just talking patience, man. We're talking being patient. We're talking not buying all of the crazy nonsense that's coming out right now in the media and from people talking about what's happening with Deebo, where they say one thing and then less than 24 hours later, the exact opposite is happening. Right? The Niners offered him a 4-year, $100 million deal. Less than 24 hours later, the Niners never offered him a deal. Less than 24 hours later, actually they offered him a deal worth $19 million. Less than 24 hours later, actually they never offered him anything. Less than 24 hours later, Deebo told them not to offer anything. Less than 24 hours later, Deebo doesn't want to come to San Francisco to work out. Less than 24 hours later, he's in LA working out and partying at a club. Come on. It's nonsense. All of it's nonsense. And he returned a kickoff that was clutch in the Green Bay game. Correct. So there's that aspect as well. Does Deebo make the Jets a Super Bowl contender, says Mark. Quarterback play is important. And let's not forget that Deebo's quarterback play, while people can feel any way they want, it was good enough. It was good enough to do some things. But the defense has to get stops. And then while the Jets defense was improved, it's not there yet. So no, it doesn't make them a contender. Does it make them closer to being a playoff team? Yes. But that's it. Oh, Cutback, salute, sir. Salute to you too, platform. Good to see you in here, my guy. Good to hear from you as well. I like Velus Jones, not exactly Deebo, but does a lot of similar things. There are some things that he does well, but he won't do them at the same level that Deebo does, unfortunately. That won't be the case. Trade him to Detroit. They have picks, says Terrell Smith. He ain't going to want to go there. I think a ransom is the 10, the 38, a player, don't care whom, and next year's second. Okay. So 1 first, 2 seconds, right, and a player. It's kind of closer to what Ant was talking about with what Ant believes platform is what the Niners would be looking at in terms of what a ransom is. I trade for Henry straight up. That guy is a beast. I don't know if I could do that. It's enticing though. It is enticing. I ain't gonna argue with you on that, my guy. I won't argue with you on that. Chad G says Detroit prefers to suck forever. Matt Burgos, it's okay. He doesn't mean it. I like Treylon Burks and Velus Jones. Are you trying to tell us to RELAX LOL? No, I'm not gonna Aaron Rodgers, y'all. Because here's the thing. The thing I do like about all of this is the passion, right? I love the passion. I love the passion for the team. I love people, wanting to talk about the 49ers. I love people trying to look at how to build a team. Because all this has really done is stir up the creative juices for some people, right? Like some people see all this going down and are like, F Deebo, F his agent, F this, F that. Everything sucks. The Niners suck. Fire John Lynch. Get rid of Kyle Shanahan. Jed York needs to get burned at the stake. Someone burn his house. There's people who go there, they go right to the emotional side of it. And then there's some people that go, okay, well, how can the 49ers make the best of a bad situation? And they start getting creative with it, right? You can trade Deebo for this, and then you could do this, and you can get this player who does these things, and this player who does these things, and this player who does these things. Like I saw John Chapman. He did a nice mock draft today. That was great to see. The creative way he's trying to build out the roster. I've seen a lot of people doing this type of stuff, right? I see that. I love that. I love the fact that people trying to take the negative that is the situation and trying to find a way to spin the positive. What I don't like is people coming out and being like, hey, this is happening, right? Hey, Deebo's gone. Hey, this is obvious that this is. I mean, it's pretty clear that Deebo doesn't want to be here. He said as much. Deebo hasn't said jack diddly shiznit. Nothing has been said. Shiitake mushrooms. Nothing has been said. Deebo has not said a negative word about the San Francisco 49ers. Not a negative word has come out of his mouth. It's all secondhand reporting. The Niners have not said a negative thing about Deebo Samuel. Not one thing. Tomorrow could change things for the better or for the worse. But until we find out more, we know nothing. We're in the dark. The Niners don't leak. The only person who leaks is Deebo Samuel's brother. That's it. That is it. He's the only one that leaks anything. The only one. Because he leaked him being traded. Too funny. Looking back, if history teaches us anything, it's all 99.9% BS. Lou, that right there is the most accurate thing that has been said on a social media platform in God knows how long, my guy. God knows how long. We don't live in a world anymore where information is vetted to be accurate. We live in a world now in which information tries to get out first. So the first people reporting things may get something right. But 9 out of 10 times, they're getting a lot of things wrong. Patience has to mean something. Credibility has to mean something. It's not about being the first to the table. It's not. It's not about being the first one to get things out. It's about trying to get things right. It's about trying to get things right. Trying to be as accurate as possible. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that we here at the 49ers Cutback, Alex and Ant, the both of us get more things right than we get wrong. No, that isn't accurate. Right? That would be the opposite of accurate. It would be inaccurate. It's not accurate. We get things wrong all the time. But we try not to be like horribly, horribly wrong. We try not to put things out there that are just so far inaccurate and so far from the truth that you're sitting there wondering to yourself, how could you get yourself there? How do you, how did your head pop up off the pillow this morning and that was a thought that ran through your head? It's really easy to do that when the only thing that matters to you is being the first one out. That's it. It's too hard. Everything looks like he's leaving. Niners better get everything they can get. Deebo is a beast. Thursday is the last day as the Niners. Even Stevie Wonder sees this coming, says Danny O. I don't know how you could think that. Danny O, it is just as possible that Deebo is traded come Thursday that it is that Deebo Samuel is a 49er Thursday. I don't see it leaning one way or the other. I think both possibilities are exactly the same. Both possibilities are just as likely. I would go into a Schrodinger's cat diatribe, but I've already done that once in the podcast. Not again, TCC. Not again, I promise. I won't do it again. Niners will be okay either way, trusting the organization and coaching. I like that one. That's good. Niners Sickness Podcast says, what's up, faithful? What's up, NSP? How you doing? We could get Kenneth Walker for physicality out of the backfield and maybe Sky Moore for yards after the catch. I'm just grabbing at straws, Alex, says Jag. At this point, we all are, right? All of us are. It's hard, man. It's hard. We're all grasping at straws. Alex, do you think Deebo really wants to go to the Jets? They are cursed forever. Look, no, I don't think he wants to go to the Jets. I still think he wants to be in San Francisco. No part of me believes that he doesn't want to be in San Francisco. No part of me. Lou, tomorrow will change nothing. Agreed. It will. It won't change a single thing. It won't change a darn thing. It's not going to. I'm seeing someone just said, hold on. Someone just said, Jeff Darlington called Deebo. He wants traded. Says Grish. Yeah, he did say he wants to be traded. So did Raheem Mostert 2 years ago. So did Robbie Gould. Neither of those guys got traded. Asking for a trade on a rookie contract, right? Asking for a trade on a rookie contract is like asking your mom for a cookie before dinner. Like, you might, like, on the right day, the right situation, where you've done all your chores and, you know, your homework got done in a timely fashion, and then, you know, you didn't take a pillow and smack your brother across the face when he came around the corner. On the right day, you might get that cookie. But 9 out of 10 times, you ain't getting that cookie. Mom's gonna smack your hand and tell you to go sit down and eat dinner, and you'll be lucky if you get dessert. Right? Like, that's not happening. You don't have that kind of control on a rookie deal. The Niners have all the control. Deebo thought he had more control. He thought he was going to have more leverage in this situation. And he found out that he didn't. And so he's asking for a trade because he's trying to apply pressure to the 49ers. What is common sense, Lou, doing on here? Exactly. You don't want no common sense. Common sense is not common. Niners front office like a dolphin sphincter, watertight, things don't leak. My goodness, Jan. I am not going to lie. That was 100% like an image I didn't need. So thank you for that. Hot take, Lynch trading Deebo for the answer to the ultimate mystery post by Mostert. Is a hot dog a sandwich? Is a hot dog a sandwich? I'll get there. I'll get to that answer. We can talk about that in a little bit, Shatji. I don't really want to see the Niners pay top dollar for Deebo either way. If he wants that, I'd rather see another team pay him that than us. I do want Deebo to get his bag, though. I want Deebo to get his bag. I don't want that bag to be $25 million unless he's a wide back. If he's a wide back, you pay him $25 million. I'd even be fine with building out the contract with incentives to get up to 27. If he's going to put together the season he just had, again, he should get. I'm fine with him making $27 million a year. But it's got to be incentive based. It can't be base salary. Just don't work like that, said Bomber T. I think Trey and Kittle will hit it off this year along with Ayuk. Jan, you just happened to leave Deebo out. Deebo wasn't told no enough as a child. I disagree with that. You don't know what his upbringing was. I don't know anything about Deebo other than what I've seen. What I've seen is a guy who works really hard. I've seen a guy who's put team first above self. I've seen a guy who's took on a brunt of the load for the team and did not complain the whole season, this past season. Right? I've seen a guy who pushed himself last season when he had the injury to his foot and the fracture and came back before he was 100% healthy because he wanted to get back on the field and help his team. Right? I've consistently seen a guy who has put team above self. Team above self. And for the first time, he's asking for something for himself and being very stubborn about what he wants and how he wants it. Deebo needs to get rid of social media? I don't know. Like, I'm the wrong person to ask about social media, because there are plenty of people who feel social media is a positive thing in the world and is a really good thing for society and a really good thing for players and getting information out and all this stuff. And there was a time where I believed that. There was a time I believed social media was something that was going to change how people communicated, and I don't believe that anymore. That's personal, right? That's a personal opinion. That's me having dealings with people on social media. That's me seeing the types of things that get posted on social media. That's me seeing the kind of rhetoric that gets posted on social media. And that's me seeing people on social media not using it for its designed purpose of having open conversations and getting information to people and reconnecting with people they haven't seen or heard from in a long time, but instead staying in a bubble and believing what they want to believe and getting themselves into whatever echo chamber they want to be in, and just let the narrative just bounce off the walls and just continually, hey, yeah, this is exactly what I want. This is exactly what it's supposed to be. Like, social media is not operating the way it was intended to operate. So, does he need to get rid of social media? No. Is social media helping him right now? Doesn't look like it. Doesn't feel like it. Grant Cohn predicted this drama. He said they will lowball Deebo, and he called it. Mr. Joe, do you know how negotiations work? And Mr. Joe, that's not true. Because the Niners offered him 4 years, $100 million. Wait, no, it wasn't a 4-year, $100 million. Sorry, no, they never offered him a contract at all. No, wait, they offered him $19 million a year. $19 million a year was what they. Wait, no, they didn't offer him anything. They didn't offer him. Oh, but wait. Per Adam Schefter, the Niners were willing to sign Deebo Samuel today, but he halted contract negotiations, and he did that with no offer on the table. But what? No, it was 100. It was 19. 100 million, 4 years, 25 million a season. But I thought Deebo wanted to be paid. I thought he wanted to be paid the highest non-paid quarter, like 32. No, he said 25. Oh, everything's bullcrap. Everything's bullcrap. And I'm glad you like the analogy. I'm glad you like the analogy, Luke. Social media is also about empowerment, like it or not. Empowerment in what way, Dimitri? When you refer to empowerment, what do you mean? What do you mean? If, and it's a big if, says Jag. Who do you think could give us better compensation for Deebo between the Jets, Texans, or Panthers? The Jets give you the most impactful compensation because they can give you the most right now. Right? They got a lot of picks in the first 2 to 3 rounds. The Texans can give you the most long-term compensation, multiple firsts and picks down the road and over the years. And the Panthers can give you the most bang for your buck because they can give you a combination of middle and late round picks and some top-end talent to maybe offset Deebo. Right? So there's that. Shatji saying they offered him a bicycle. I bet you it was a bicycle without a boombox, Shatji. It was a bicycle without a boombox, and that's what pissed Deebo off. Right? If the boombox isn't on the bike, then what are we doing here? How serious are you about this for real? How serious can you be? Nothing is clear at this point, says Bomber T. You're not wrong. Ronnie, any news on any of our offer free agents like Aziz or Tart? So Tart, there's no information on. No information on Tart. He hasn't signed anywhere. Nothing has happened in terms of that. There's been no additional conversations, no hintings that he's signing with anybody. I think he's waiting until after the draft till anything gets done. So there's that. As far as Aziz Al-Shire, I haven't seen anything. Let me see here. Yeah, I haven't seen anything. I have not seen anything for Aziz Al-Shire. Although as of right now, it looks like he did sign his tender. So $3.986 million is signed and official. I just don't think it was reported. I think it got lost in all the hubbub. It got lost in all the hubbub of everything that was going on. So it looks like Aziz Al-Shire has signed his tender per over the cap. Per over the cap, his tender is signed and he's a 49er. But I haven't seen any reports. on that. So, I mean, who knows? Maybe. Maybe. Daryl Smith said Detroit. Detroit's interesting. They give you an interesting amount of capital. The problem is that Detroit is like a team that I don't think he would ever consider going to because they're just really bad. I don't know if Deebo actually would be considering that. So, doesn't feel like it. Well, at least the draft is way more interesting now, says Doc DZ Egum. the draft is at least way more interesting now. Hashtag bright side. Well, I'm glad that you're feeling that way. There's just a lot of people who would disagree with you. If Deebo goes, so does his boombox, says Mr. Joe. You're not wrong. It probably is. Probably the case. Brandon West, the club thing was a party celebrating Deebo staying at 49. The dude filming was supposed to be filming. Think about that. They just happened to have a lit up sign with Deebo's name on it, says Ken Martin. It could have been that. It also could have been, we don't even know if Deebo saw the sign. You don't know. Context matters, and there's not enough of that film to have context about what was going on. Daryl's saying Detroit, number 2, pick 2, 32, 34, 66. That's great. They're not going to give all those picks for Deebo. They have so many holes to fill in Detroit. Deebo doesn't fix their problems. No, Alex, the boombox and a couple of chains, LOL, says Jack. He's also got to get a card on the back wheel. So it gives a, as it spins, right? Maybe a horn too that he hits and it goes ba ba ba. Not the ba 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 ba, but something. He needs a horn. He needs a horn on it as well. Fortail, if McDaniel isn't sold on Tua, you think Miami offers a trade for Jimmy G? Plus he owes Shanny, in my opinion. Fortail, there was a time where I thought that was the case, but it looks like the whole idea behind going to Miami was an investment into Tua Tagovailoa. I think the only person they were ever considering replacing Tua was Tom Brady. Tom Brady seemed like it was the only guy. And reports are now coming out, right, that say something to the effect of a second for Tom Brady and a first for Sean Payton in New Orleans. They're going to give the Saints a first, and they were going to give the Bucks a second. Second for Tom Brady and a first for Sean Payton. And the league vetoed it. That's the report that's coming out now. Whether or not that report has any legs or any merit, who knows? Unfortunately, the media has shot themselves in the foot in terms of credibility, and you can't believe anything anyone says. Mr. Joe is saying, Jan Stewart, 2 picks. That's his value. Trey Lance. He's saying a first and a second. Mr. Joe, there's just one problem with that line of thinking and logic there. The 49ers believe Jimmy G's value is 2 seconds. So if you're telling me that Deebo Samuel is only worth a first and a second, that doesn't add up in terms of value, right? Based on the cone guy, the cone dude, based on his own logic, I've heard plenty of people in the chat say he hates Jimmy Garoppolo. I can't remember, right? I remember his dad, though. I remember his dad, Lowell. Good guy. The cone, the other cone guy, head's still fuzzy from when I smashed it on the weights. Remember when I told you all that? My head's all fuzzy. Anyway, the cone guy, I've heard things. I've heard things about, right, Jimmy is, a liability and all this other kind of stuff. So if that's the case, and his value for the Niners is 2 2s, then there's no way Deebo's can be a 1 and a 2. That's just not possible. Shachi, $5 super chat, man. Thank you so much. Just felt like interrupting you like I do, Chapman. Thank you for the great content. Shachi, man, I cannot thank you enough. Thank you for the $5 super chat, my guy. It helps. It gives me that extra bit of juice. And a nice little yeah from the Macho Man. And everything's good. Everything's good. So I appreciate that, my guy. Thank you. It's not a horn, it's a bike bell, says Chan Stewart. I mean, you're not wrong. Bike bell, you get the ring, the ding. It's a little, right, with the thumb. You just dings it. We're putting tassels on this bike for Deebo Samuel. TCC. We getting tassels on this bike. Shannon Lynch getting there, but oh, come on. Come on, Danny. Be appropriate, man. I got to get rid of that now. This is just unnecessary. It's not necessary. They have to pay Bosa, Deebo, draft picks, too much to accommodate, says Grish. Look, they do have to pay Bosa, but they don't have to pay Bosa until next season. They don't have to even start negotiating and doing things like that until next season. So they have time. The salary cap's going to go up. You have Deebo's contract as well. You have, look, at the end of the day, too, the thing that may be going on, again, context matters. We have no context. All we can do is speculate, which is why I'm saying patience. Maybe patient, TCC. But with all the possibilities that have been laid out, there's one possibility that's being ignored in all this, right? the fact that the Niners could have went to Deebo Samuel and just said, hey, my guy, listen, look, we're going to pay you. We want to pay you. We just need a little bit of time to figure out what we're doing with Jimmy. We just need a little bit of time. We need some time to figure out if we can deal him for what we want or if we need to take less. We're going to deal him, and as soon as we do, we're going to take that money and we're going to sign your extension. And he may be sitting there going, I want it now. Take care of me now. I don't want to wait. Do it now. For all we know, that's what could be going on, and he's just upset about having to wait. He could be upset because they're asking him to practice patience. And then this would be a very telling podcast. This cutback chat would be very telling. If that's what comes out, all of you will go, I remember where I was. April 24th. 9 p.m. Pacific time, because Alex said 8:45 and was 15 minutes late like an absolute screw. Alex was late. He was an absolute butthead for doing that. But I remember when he came on and said, we have to be patient. Not being patient leads to bad things. Not being patient leads everyone to panic when you know there may be no need to. Now, you all remember this. When you're old and gray, and when Aunt and I are in our 80s and still doing the podcast, Aunt, do you remember the time that Deebo Samuel wanted to be traded from San Francisco? Patience, TCC. Patience. Because all we know is everything that's going on right now is just Deebo wanting to get paid now and not wanting to have to wait. Gustavo Moda. Hopefully I said that right. Let me know if I did. Let's see here. Do you think Deebo will go to another team in the NFC West like the Cards after their need for receivers? He can't go to the Cards. The Niners are never going to trade him to the Cardinals. Nobody happened. Why nobody's speculating why Deebo's in California? Ken, no one's speculating because it would be inconvenient to talk about after all of the overreaction, right? This is what people do now. They overreact, and then just pretend like it never happened, right? Deebo doesn't want to even come to California. He hates Trey Lance. Less than 24 hours later, Deebo's in LA. Wow, he can come to LA to work out, but not work out with Trey. And my guy, remember like 24 hours ago when you were freaking out? That never happened. Don't talk to me about it. Never happened. Not gonna happen. Deebo wants to stay in the NFC. Remember his tweet, NFC just got way easier. Adams and Russell had left. He did say that. He's also, he wiped all of his Instagram pictures of the 49ers. His all-pro picture of him in the Niners jersey is still up, so he can't be that sour on the Niners. Is Nick Bosa on social media? Are we going to go through this again next year? Mark, if the media has it their way, then yes. The media has it their way, then yes. Bosa does have a social media, but Bosa is pretty quiet on social media. He doesn't say a whole lot. He's pretty to himself on the socials. Similar to Jimmy. Like, right, Jimmy's got socials, but Jimmy doesn't really post on socials. Similar to Alex. Alex has socials, he just doesn't really post on socials unless it's cutback related. Or his Wordle streak, which I haven't done. I had a couple people actually ask me about my Wordle streak. So if y'all don't know, I tweet out my Wordle streak. So like however many I got in a row. Because we're moving and packing and all this other stuff, it just hasn't been a priority to post. So one of my buddies actually texted me and was like, Alex, did you lose your Wordle streak? And I was like, no, I'm still going. Still going. He's like, well, you haven't posted. And I was like, yeah, well, we're moving, so it just hasn't been on my forefront of my mind. 74 in a row, TCC. 74 in a row on the Wordle. 74 straight. Feels good. Random question, but since we're talking about contracts, will Murray get this contract from the Cards? And if so, why hasn't he yet? Gustavo, because contracts are complicated and money is complicated. And it's not as simple as just me want money, team, we want pay you money, and then it happens. Right? These are complex contracts in which they set payments and payouts and where money gets paid, when it gets paid, how it gets paid in specific ways to give themselves flexibility, both player and team. Right? It's agreement from both parties. There's an agreement from both parties to both give them something that they need and that they want. right? It's why you saw the Saints being 80 million over the cap space, and with the snap of a Thanos thumb and finger, they were 80 million over the cap and then 20 million under. It's silly. It's nonsensical. Doesn't make a lot of sense, but that's how it works. That's how it works. Monica, how you doing? What's up, TCC? How you doing? How you doing? Good to see you in here. Good to see you in here. Deebo ain't going anywhere, in my opinion, said Forktail. I would agree with you. Jan Stewart, Alex would be like, you are not wrong, my guy. You're not wrong, my guy. You're not wrong. Hopefully that was a good old band voice and someone can clip that later and send that to me. Patience is key, especially when it comes to brew. That's true. That's true. Not wrong. Not wrong, my guy. You're not wrong, my guy. I can't say that anymore now, right? We got to put "you're not wrong, my guy" on a t-shirt. Is that the next emoji? You're not wrong, my guy. My goodness gracious almighty. This is like an episode out of Days of Our Lives, said Bomber T. Oh, not wrong there either. Not wrong there either, Bomber T. Look, I'm saying it again. Dang you, Jan. The glass has been shattered. I say it. I do say that. I'm going to have to change it up. Some other 49ers content creators, Haberman, Middlecoff, used to be sponsored by Tito's Vodka. I imagine their stock is going up among 49ers fans during this offseason, said Eric Dane. Is that a Tito's Vodka plug? We just plug Haberman and Middlecoff's Tito's Vodka Club. Can we send this? Someone clip this and send this over to them. Clip it, send it over to them, and tell them we want a cut of the next Tito's Vodka ad they run on the channel. Since we just plugged it for them for free. Before my time, but Ronnie Lott asked for a trade to say it got heated but never received the trade. Agreed, Ken. Coach Ant, what did I miss? You missed me going through the timeline of Deebo events, right? You missed Ray coming in here and trying to take over the chat again. Didn't happen this time. And you missed me asking the TCC what a King's ransom looks like. There was also obviously a lot of other things that happened, Ant. But I mean, to recap everything that is, I mean, that it would just be like me. It was as JLA said, this episode was a lot of story time with Alex, more story time with Alex than talking with the Cutback crew. Although there has been a lot of good conversation with the Cutback crew. With story time with Alex. So what I don't want to do is give the TCC more reason to think I like hearing myself talk, because that's just not the case. Shan, Alex, I got Rob's shoe, self-conscious about his. In that regard, I turned it into a drinking game. Well, I mean, look, you could very easily have a drinking game Friday when we do the draft watch party live right here on YouTube and at Back Alley Brew in Galt, California, 4 to 8 p.m. Yeah, I mean, you guys could turn it into a drinking game. Whenever one of us says accurate, the 49ers Cutback drinking game, accurate. You're not wrong, my guy. It's 49ers Cutback Podcast time. And with whatever insert pick the 49ers have selected, anytime Christian Watson gets brought up in the chat, I mean, we could legitimately have a drinking game with all of our sayings. Chalk another one up. There's tons more. There's tons more. I know that there's tons more. How do you think Karlaftis would do on the D line, says HR? I don't think he would be wrong. I don't think he'd be bad, excuse me. Oh my gosh. Sorry. Everyone on the audio version, as soon as I started going through the list of potential potential things that could constitute a 49ers Cutback drinking game during a live stream, the chat lit up with all of the sayings. You're not wrong, my guy. The accurates, the right way is always the 49ers way. 1000%. Oh man. Make sure you hit the like and the subscribe button and that notification bell. We're notified for all this great all of it. All of it. Wonderful there, chat. Bomber T, everybody would be so drunk. God, man. My self-conscious. I'm completely self-conscious now about everything I'm saying. Eric Dane earlier said, no plug. I'm just saying, if I hear 49ers and Instagram in the same sentence one more time, I'm going to need a stiff drink. Eric, I feel you there, my guy. I feel you there. Deebo doesn't know about patience because he wants contract now. Interesting. I don't know about that. I'm just saying I thought it would be funny. Gurish. If I'm saying that right, let me know. If I'm not, I apologize. But Gurish, I don't know if that's the case. It's a possibility, but it's all speculation. Chalk another one up, said Jay Ellie with the nice emoji. You're not wrong there. Jesus, I just said it again. You're all drinking. Alex, the best one is every time Shanny says after the game, he says a lot. In fact, if he was a student at Sac State getting graded on his phonetics when presenting or teaching a class, he'd get a failing grade. Too many ums. Teachers would lose it. Hit that like and take a drink, said Jan Stewart. Not wrong. Not wrong. I still believe Deebo will stay above. Bobo, this is where I'm at. Someone had mentioned earlier that they thought Deebo was on the way out. I think it was Danny O that said that. All signs were pointing to Deebo on the way out. I'm not there. I don't think Deebo's on the way out. I think it's far from that. I think Deebo's future with San Francisco is no different than it was when we started the offseason. There's just more questions. That's it. Tutties. Jaylee, you're not wrong. Tutties. 100% tutties. Here's exactly what it is. Deebo don't got patience, and he said out of his mouth he never received an offer from the 49ers, leaked the same information that they never gave him an offer, that he had to be patient. Ken, but there was reports that he got a 4-year, $100 million contract deal. There's also reports that the Niners were willing to pay him today. There was also reports that they started the base offer at $19 million. I don't believe any of it. None of it's to be believed. You take it with a grain of salt. It is what it is. It just is what it is. And the rest of these live streams are going to absolutely suck for me. The TCC is going to be all over all of my talking points now. Deebo is like, every time I think I'm out, they pull me back in, says Jan Stewart. Oh, man. This has just been crazy. It's been a crazy offseason, Cutback crew. But this is what I want everyone to take from everything that's happened this offseason is just that patience. Patience is kind of the key in all of this. You have to be patient. Because this is going to continue to happen. The more the Niners have success, the more you draft players that fit into your scheme and blow up the way that Deebo Samuel and Nick Bosa have blown up in the system. Like, the more that this kind of stuff happens, the tougher it's going to be to keep all these players. And that means more drama and more uncertainty. And the Niners not leaking. And the Niners not giving you anything. And you just having to sit, wait, and try your best to be patient. You got to try. Because the Niners are going to put out info when they seem and deem it fit for the information to be out there. Not before, not after, when they determine it is. Bobo, I know Deebo will stay. I've been going to church and prayed hard for the Niners to pay him. Been donating to church so God gives me favor, especially on Easter Sunday, said Bobo. Wait, you're saying your 26-year-old star receiver demanding a trade because he's homesick isn't normal? Oh, that's right? He's homesick. That's why he's not coming to San Francisco to California to practice and train, and then the next day he's in California training. You can want to be around your family, right? And train. And not want to come to California to train unless you have to. Like, those two things can happen. Those two things are allowed. Would there be life after Deebo, though, says Bomber T? 100% there's going to be a life after Deebo. Question is, what does that life look like as 49ers fans? What does the team look like? Life without Deebo. Definitely different. Definitely different. Stress. That's all I know. Stress. Just stress. Lots of stress. I will take Jamison Williams, Brisker, and the salary over Deebo, says HR. Well, everyone's going to want to do their own thing. I still think Deebo is going to be a San Francisco 49er. I don't think this is leaning one way or the other. But I do know one thing, TCC. Well, actually, I know two things. Number one, Deebo wasn't in LA celebrating his birthday because that's not till January. Okay. So we know that. And number 2, it isn't that you're not wrong, my guy. Although, Jan Stewart, I'm not wrong, my guy. Number 2, and more importantly, Tuesday, we have fan-controlled mock draft 2.0. 2.0. I almost messed up the hand signals there. So you are going to be able to make the picks. You are going to be able to select what the 49ers will do. And I imagine we're going to offer up some crazy trade scenarios, some crazy possibilities, and I'll let you start voting on those things starting tonight after the stream. I'll start putting up some polls for you to do some stuff. But look, fan-controlled mock draft 2.0. You're not going to want to miss it. And I guess it's time to plug the trailer. So buckle up, TCC. It's trailer time. Clean. Fan controlled mock draft 2.0, 6 p.m. Tuesday, April 26th. You're not going to want to miss that. 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Yeah, that's right. I give you the Eastern times. But yeah, no, fan controlled mock draft. You make the picks. You control what we do in the mock draft. It's your mock draft, TCC. The last one was pretty solid. It's pretty good. It's got a lot of good players. It didn't do a lot of trading. Good stuff happened. And you're going to have a chance to do it all over again, and who knows? Maybe doing some crazy things in the draft. So make sure that you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you have not already, and hit that notification bell because you're not going to want to miss fan-controlled mock draft 2.0 on Tuesday. You're not going to want to miss tomorrow's 5 p.m. Pacific time live stream of 49ers defensive draft gems in the NFL draft. You want to bookie that on your calendar right now. And you're going to want to land here at 5 p.m. Pacific time to hear a couple of guys, names, players that are going to be gems for the 49ers in this draft. They could pick 150 later or even undrafted free agents. That could have huge roles for the Niners. It's something they've done a lot. It's something they've hit on consistently. I mean, you don't want to miss that. You don't want to miss that tomorrow night, 5 p.m. Pacific time. And then Wednesday, 49ers War Room finale. Ant and myself making the picks. TCC will vote on the GM. TCC will decide who starts and who makes the pick at 61. And I'm not going to do it. I could make a pitch right now and try and convince you, but I will wait and save my pitches until Ant can be in the room to defend himself. I want Ant to be able to counter my points and counter my arguments. I want him to be able to do that. But look, if you're looking for a punter, you know who will select. It ain't Ant. It's going to be Alex. Okay, guys, let's vote to take a punter at 61 and forward the video to Jason Apontes and Eric Dane. I will not sell myself out for that, Eric. I will not take a punter at 61. You have more of a chance of me trading Deebo in the War Room finale Wednesday than anything else. Just don't want that. I can see Aponte's eyes roll back like Walmart sit chat. Eric also earlier, you're not wrong, my guy. If you say you're not wrong, my guy, to a female listener, then you are in fact wrong, my guy. Touche. Watch all this be a joke on Cone. Bomber T. Bomber. That Cone guy. You're not wrong. It could all just be a prank. It could all just be a prank. Just a prank. When's the trade going down, says Stovey. I don't know if it's going down, Stovey. But it has to be before Thursday. Because if it ain't before Thursday, it ain't happening. It's got to be before or very early on in the draft on Thursday. Look, TCC, this was This was fun tonight. A little different. Little different. But solid chat. Solid chat, solid conversation, and hopefully I gave you some things to think about. Hopefully I gave you some. I don't need an argument. TCC know what's up. Well, I mean, hey, in all honesty, I don't. It isn't going to matter to me either way, because I think no matter who's the GM, you and I have a pretty good idea of who we want to target and where. I don't think we're going to hate the guys we go after, unless it's Justin Ross, right, in the 6th or 7th round. Like, unless it's that, we're good. We're pretty good. Bedtime story? No, not bedtime story. Look, this whole week is going to be fun, and hopefully this episode gave you some calmness, it gave you some stillness. It's keeping things in perspective. That everything that has come out has been contradictory. Not a lot of things have been verified or corroborated, and hopefully reminded you that the 49ers don't leak. So because things don't add up, things don't line up, it probably means that these things aren't as they appear. And if they're not as they appear, then feeling one way or the other very passionately or strongly might just be a mistake. It's probably going to be a mistake. So be patient, be calm. Let's wait for the 49ers to address this. Let's wait for more information to come out. And once we have that information, let's make a logical sound, draw a logical sound conclusion, all of us. Mental health has gotten better after blocking the cone head. It's a great feature if you don't know. I mean, I don't typically block people. That's not what I do. So look, it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be a situation here. HR saying if it walks like a duck. The problem is it doesn't walk like a duck. HR. This whole situation doesn't walk like a duck. It doesn't walk like a duck. It doesn't quack like a duck. It doesn't sound like a duck. It doesn't look like a duck. Everything is contradictory. Everything. From he loves the 49ers and thrived in his role, to he doesn't want to be a wide back, to he's still selling wide back merch and 49ers gear, to he scrubbed his social media account of all 49ers pictures on Instagram, but he still got his all-pro picture up of what he got named first team all-pro in his 49ers jersey in 49ers color. The post is, I mean, he doesn't want to work out in California, to the next day he's working out in California. He wants to be paid the highest, most amount of money of any non-quarterback in the league, to he wants to get paid $25 million, to the Niners have offered him a $19.5 million contract. They've offered him no contract. They offered him 4 years, $100 million contract. None of it makes sense. None of it follows. None of it tracks. It doesn't walk like a duck. It doesn't sound like a duck. It looks like ham thrown against a wall. It looks like monkeys flinging poop in a zoo. Right? It looks like people are just throwing things up against the wall and hoping it sticks. And if that's the case, then there's probably not a lot going on with it. There's probably not a lot of information coming out. The only thing that we know for sure that's been corroborated, the only thing we know for sure that is accurate, actually accurate, is that he asked for a trade. Joe, he also said a month and a half ago on Twitter, "Don't worry, faithful, I'm not going anywhere. I just need a realtor in Miami because I train there." I would be spending as much time away from California if I was a 49er. As much as I possibly could. Taxes here suck. This wasn't like where I had to pay money for stuff. Like, I would just not do it. Taxes suck here. You ever Google strangest fishes? There's dang alien. I don't know what you just said, Juanito. Like throwing Jello on the wall and hoping it all sticks. That's what's all that's going on. People are throwing stuff against the wall. I'm just saying, he seemed happy then. I don't think things have changed enough, Joe, for him to not be happy. I would agree with you there. Which is why patience is the thing that's most important right now, TCC. Be patient. Let this thing play out. Let's see what John Lynch and the 49ers have to say tomorrow. And from there, we can start drawing, at least more sound conclusions, because then we have at least some information from one side and some information from another. But all brace yourself, because you're not going to get a whole lot tomorrow. You're not going to get a whole lot tomorrow from the San Francisco 49ers. I'm expecting we love Deebo. Things have not gone sour with Deebo. We're still in the negotiation phase with Deebo. We want Deebo to be a 49er for a long time. We understand that Deebo's frustrated. We got to do our due diligence and look at all options. That's what you're going to get tomorrow from the 49ers. I don't expect to get something else. And if we get something else, then we'll be able to make a decision. We'll be able to actually like start drawing some legitimate conclusion in terms of what's going to happen. But until then, there's no way to know. There's just no way to know. TCC, I hope you enjoyed the conversation. I know I did. It was a lot of fun. You kept me on my toes, calling me out on my sayings, and I appreciate that. Be patient, right? Stay vigilant. Don't necessarily jump at all the information you hear. Try and vet things as much as you possibly can. Vet things as much as you possibly can. Because in today's day and age, people care about getting stuff out first. They don't care about being accurate. It's not about being accurate. It's about getting things out first. We're going to try our best to be accurate and not, just be the first people to talk about things. We would love to actually be the first ones to break things all the time. But sometimes you want to vet things. Sometimes you want to vet information. Sometimes you want to make sure the information that you're putting out there is the truth. And that's what we're about here on the 49ers Cutback. So if it's your first time here, hope you enjoyed. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. If you're listening on Twitch, give us a follow over there. That nice follow. It doesn't take a lot of time. It's a lot of fun as well, and you'll get notified every time we go live. If you're following us on Facebook, or Twitter, or Facebook, just hit that like button on this post, retweet, share it with everybody else out there, all the Cutback crew out there, and faithful out there in 49ers land. Make sure you're following the page. Or, make sure you're following the page on both Twitter and on Facebook. So that way you don't miss more live streams. And if you're right here on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Doesn't take very long. 60% of the people who watch our shows aren't subscribed. 60% of you. 60. What are you doing? 60% of you aren't subscribed? Just hit the subscribe button. It takes a second, right? And you can always unsubscribe. Like, if you just, if one of us says something, you're like, man, that guy's dumb. I just want to punch him in his stupid big nose. You can unsubscribe. You can. Prefer you didn't, but you can. It's fine. And it helps support the channel. So, look, we appreciate it. We really do, TCC. You guys have absolutely killed it tonight. You've been killing it all season long. You've been killing it all offseason. We're going to have a lot of fun this week. We got a draft party coming up Friday, April 29th, Back Alley Brew in Galt, California, 4 to 8 p.m. So make sure you're there if you can be. And if you can't, you can be right here watching on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, all of the socials, and hopefully Instagram very soon. So yeah, make sure that you're a part of this. Make sure you're here for all of it. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be a lot of news, a lot of things to talk about in 49ers land. And until the next conversation, Cutback Crew, until tomorrow night's Draft Gems live stream, stay safe and remember the right way is always the 49ers way.